Not that one.
No.
Not Corbyn.
Yes,
the other one.
The other one.
And then if Rishi Sunak comes back, a lot of people of the Indian descent thinks he's going to make Britain great again, but he's not, because he's an idiot like the rest of them.
Oh my God, he has very, very strong principles, and if you don't like those, he has others. The amount of turns and switches and twists that he made when he was trying to become PM the first time around, and he started on that. Well, we've got too many foreigners around here. It's another one of those. I can come in, but after me, nobody else.
Are they all aware that this it's like a bad comedy? It would be a comedy show if I could leave the country, but I can't.
Yeah.
Are they aware, like Rishi Sunak, Kemi Badenoch, Kwasi Kwarteng, after he bankrupted the country, are they all aware that a lot of Brexit voters are a little bit racist? Are they aware of this or not? Seems to have alluded them.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. All right, good work. Thanks a lot, Jonathan. 0345 6060 973. Can you believe that? People are yelling at him to get out of the country and then making it impossible for him to get out of the country. This says, I've had a busy day, so a laugh is a perfect way to end my day. I think that the Conservatives have had it planned all along that they bring back Dithering Doris. Now, do you mean Doris as in Boris or Doris as in, the other one? I say let's give Nadine Dorris a bash at the top job. What could possibly go wrong? 0345 6060 973. Put Suella Braverman in charge. I mean, it would make as much sense as anything else that's happened this year. Is she actually going to put her hat in the ring to be the next Prime Minister of this country? Suella Braverman. Suella Braverman? What? So the party wants to choose Boris Johnson. I bet a significant number of them want to choose his Bogenus. Oh, look at the time. I'm up against the break. I'll do this in a minute. In a minute. Marion says, I found some dilapidated pak choy in the fridge. Not sure if it's completely got the prime ministerial qualities we need, but I'll stick a $5 on it. Me too, Marion. My money's on the pak choy. Tastes of... Doesn't taste of anything at all. But it fills a plate.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
A big sack of monkey nuts.
It is a big sack of monkey nuts. This says, apparently with the Partygate inquiry, Boris would likely be re-gone by Christmas. Then what? Yeah, then what? Exactly. So they're carrying out an investigation, and if they find him guilty, then he might be suspended. Or, he may be chastised, and if that doesn't work, they may criticise him. That'll teach him. But he may be suspended, and apparently if you get suspended for more than 10 days, then there's a recall, and the people have to go and vote again. Voting again. You've got to go out and vote again, dear.
You're joking.
No, serious. And the good people of Uxbridge are probably, even in Uxbridge, they're not so daft as to vote for him again. So he'll probably be out in his ear. And then, of course, the Tory party will just parachute him into some other place. They'll stick Nadine Dorris up the House of Lords and stick him in her safe seat. And he'll just carry on regardless, like nothing's happened. I bet that's what happens. Good grief. It's like we're being held hostage. This entire country is in somebody's cellar. It puts the lotion in the basket or it gets the hose again. 0345 6060 973. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi, Nick. Hi, good evening.
Jan.
Thanks for your great show.
Thanks.
Yeah, I thought I'd just share a bit of my reaction to things that happened this week, and I've been listening.
Your reaction? Did it sound like this?
Well, I couldn't believe it when I could scarcely believe what I was hearing when they said that Boris was coming back in.
Yeah.
To the thing, and at first I just I didn't know whether to cry or laugh. In the end, I got a bit hysterical with it when I heard.
Hysterical.
I mean, literally, I had a hysterical reaction to it, and I thought, I thought, has the world gone mad?
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard some of the people really quite, like as you say, he's like a cult figure to some people, or they've got some sort of a form of hysteria. Is a form of hysteria involves selective amnesia, and that's what I thought some of these people had, or maybe not. They're just like. I don't know. I just
they have the memory of a wind chime. Zero.
Yeah. I just had this horrible image. I mean, not to his supporters, but of he's Mr. Bouncy. Bojo's Mr. Bouncy. He's like a rubber Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, like a rubber ball that comes bouncing back to us. Yeah. Get Bobby V on the phone and he'll explain it to us.
Rock and roll!
No, it's like this. They're still playing this party game. They're still like the Conservative government still playing their party game.
Musical chairs.
Back.
They just move their bums around. Exactly.
Pass the parcel. And I think as well. Another point I'd like to make is it's just that it's like there's certain figures. I guess they have an appeal, like the trickster figure. You know, the trickster figure and the anti-hero. There's a hero and the anti-hero, and I guess it can slide from one extreme to the other, like Bojo does, and maybe people just, I don't know, maybe it's entertaining. I mean, it's weird, it's so strange, it's unbelievable. But the thing is that you can only put so many people under pressure, and at the moment, with people with hungry stomachs, cold rooms, shivering, and smaller businesses going out. I mean, you can only put and people wanting to strike. The government can't stamp down on everyone.
Oh, they can try.
You think we're going to have a revolution? Don't you think it's time England maybe had one?
Had a revolution. Well, we just want to save the world, Jan.
But look. On some of the programmes, there were people calling in and saying that in certain parts of the world, people are just laughing. We're the laughing stock.
We are the laughing stock of the world. It used to be America because of you-know-who.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
But now he is history and maybe shortly about to go to jail. And now we are the laughing stock of the world. Yeah, thanks a lot, Bodge. See what you've done?
It's incredible. It's like going on I've been like on a roller coaster ride. Like so many people.
It's a roller coaster ride you can't get off.
And it's not going to end till next week.
It ain't going to end then either, Jan. We're stuck on it.
Maybe people will get like they were with the poll tax. Quite a few people have come up with these things, or like what's happened in France, where those yellow jackets
French
people take to the streets, like in those.
That's French people, Jan. That's not us. And if anybody in this country did take to the streets, then Bodger Johnson would repurchase the Waffen Squirter 9000, hose those people off the streets.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. That should be our new national anthem. All right, thanks a lot, Jan. Cheer up, dear. It might never... Oh, no, that's right. It already has. Manish says, Boris returning is just going to get Labour in sooner. Are the Tory party stupid? You really need an answer to that question? They may not be stupid, but they think we are. Mike says we could legislate that if a Prime Minister is removed from office, they are not allowed to come back into office within 6 months. Never would have thought that would have been necessary legislation, but we are where we are. Where are we? Where am I? Is this real life or am I hallucinating? Let's have Hampton. Hello, Dom.
Oh, wonderful. It's so nice to hear your voice after all these years, Nick.
I'm over here, Dom.
Listen, rubber Boris, don't come bouncing back to me. Yeah. Listen, honestly, luckily I went to, I'm a lot older than him, but I'm a sax player. I've just played a wonderful gig in Hampton, and I'm on my way back.
On your way back, are you driving at the moment?
No, I'm not. No, I'm pulled over.
Then.
I do have hands free though, but I'm pulled over. But listen, I've listened to you over many, many years. You always make me hysterically laugh. It's just wonderful. But luckily, I went to Cambridge and not Oxford, unlike Boris Johnson. I'm a lot older than him, but he's what is going on at the moment is absolutely incredible. You know, it's just amazing. You know, the pandemic and everybody living through that, this, that, and the other, lying, and this, that. I just cannot believe what's going on. This country is. I mean, I'm not a political person, but you know, I'm an architect and a horn player. But I cannot believe what is happening now, and I just can't believe that he's stuck his head up above the parapet and he's.
I'll sum it up for you, Dom. I'll sum it up thusly. Everybody's going, Every morning you turn on the news and you think, Surely not. He couldn't possibly. I mean, if he had an ounce of shame or decency in his enormous body, he wouldn't even contemplate coming back. They managed to find a window large enough to defenestrate him, and he he bounced back up off the road, back into the building. Good grief. I am stunned. All right, thanks a lot, Dom. Keep rocking. What an absolute shower. And don't forget this.
My view is the change of leader requires a general election. My view is the change of leader requires a general election. My view is the change of leader requires a general election.
Yeah, that was when Labour changed their leader. But, of course, when the Tories changed their leader, no election is necessary. The amount of Tories that have been on TV telling us that, it's completely inappropriate to even think of having a general election now because that's not the nature of our democracy. Whereas when it's on the other foot and it's the Labour Party changing a leader mid-term...
My view is the change of leader requires a general election.
Requires... Every single one of them seems like the character in a clown show. Some risible British farce is what we're in at the moment. Any moment now, their trousers will fall down.
Disgusting.
And the vicar will come in.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Oh, hello.
Think you're talking to?
I'm talking to, I'll talk to one of these people in a minute. 034, don't you worry about that. I'll talk to them in a minute, all right. Give them a piece of my mind. 0345 6060 973. This says, I was so excited to see Friday Night Live tonight, but the older comics of my generation just looked and acted like us in a beach foam bar in Ibiza. Was cringing... says Joe in Liverpool. I've got no idea what you're talking about. What you're talking about, Joe? Friday Night Live. What's that? And what is acting like us in a beach foam bar in Ibiza like? I mean, what's that actually look like? You know the lettuce, the Star? You know that there's a paper called the Star?
No.
Yeah, apparently there is. It still exists. And they had the wizardries of putting a lettuce on a live feed, wondering whether the lettuce or Liz Truss would last longer. Now, I don't know whether... It seems hard to believe that this is original material, Stephen in Isleworth. But he says, is the lettuce a Romainer? Oh. I'll assume you stole that. 0345 6060 973. Ahmed, New Malden.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Oh.
I just can't wait to tell you, I can't hide my excitement that we're going to get third Conservative Prime Minister in as many weeks.
They'll keep changing them until they get it right.
These clowns in 10 Downing Street, they are all bad as each other. There is no way they can restore the confidence. They destroy the economy totally long term and put millions of families in financial hardship.
It's amazing how quickly she managed to screw this country up in about 10 seconds.
10 seconds, indeed. I mean, what would it take for a Conservative Party to realise that they are just not fit for the purpose at the moment?
I don't even know who they are anymore. I mean, who are they? I mean, one half of them wants to use the economy of this major first world country as some sort of cute experiment to see how much money they can extract from us poor dopes who pay taxes and give it to their billionaire mates and donors. I mean, well, how is that even allowed to happen?
Well, this is it. I mean, they just have total disregard for any criteria for economics. I don't know which economic model they have been following. They managed to destroy the economy within long term. This is not just short term. To put the economy back on track now, it's going to take years.
Yeah, we'll be paying for her 10 seconds in power for probably the rest of our lives.
All our next generations will be paying. They have almost going to have to borrow nearly £1 trillion since the pandemic.
They're going to have to borrow money to pay the interest on the money they've borrowed.
Yes, and the interest rate has gone up now, so that we will be paying even more interest on the money that has been borrowed.
If this country was a person, we'd be going to payday loaners right now because we wouldn't be able to get a credit card. No bank would have us across their threshold.
So we can pay them 1,000% per year.
Exactly. We'd have to go to Tony Soprano for a loan.
Absolutely. Oh yes. Soprano, yes, indeed. Well, no, seriously. I mean, what will it take for this Tory party
What will it take for this country to wake up? Wake up, sheeple. It's later than you think. All right, thanks a lot, Ahmed. 0345 6060 973. He just can't believe it anymore. He's at the end of his tether. Bill says, imagine if Boris Johnson gets back in the 45 days later... Imagine if Boris Johnson gets back in the 45 days later the tour is boot him out. That makes no sense. I'll just read it as it's written. See, because sometimes at the end it does make sense. If you stop halfway, it won't. But if you get all the way to the end, sometimes you are rewarded. He says, imagine if Boris Johnson gets back in the 45 days later the tour is boot him out and vote Trust back in, but I imagine nothing that far-fetched could ever happen from Bill. Oh, well, there's 15 seconds I'll never get back. 0345 6060 973. Elizabeth in Liverpool. An ecstasy of fumbling. Yes, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Elizabeth.
Hi. Hi.
Elizabeth, you have to turn the radio down because you'll hear what happened 7 seconds ago and it'll fry your mind.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about Mentos.
You want to talk about what?
Mentos.
What are they?
They're just so beautiful in so many ways.
What are they?
They're chewing gums, and you can get them as sweets.
Is that right? Chewing gum and sweets?
Yeah.
Isn't that dangerous? Because you could mix the one up with the other and swallow your chewing gum, which would be very, very disadvantageous.
Warning, warning.
It'll wrap its way around your heart and strangle you to death from the inside. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did, actually. So I was wondering if I can get a bank card so I can order, a lot of Mentos.
I'll tell you what, Elizabeth, give me your address and I'll just send you some cash in the post. How does that sound? 0345 6060 973. Does anybody have any idea what's going on this show?
No.
Me neither. Have you heard? Bill says, imagine if Boris Johnson gets back in the 45 days later the tour is boot him out and vote Trust back in, but I imagine nothing that far-fetched could ever happen from Bill. That makes just as much sense the third time around as it did on the first. Michael Fabricant is what you get when you leave Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues out of the... Michael Fabricant is what you get when you leave Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues out of the fridge for too long. Good one. whoever that was. Excellent work, that man or woman sexist. 0345 6060 973. Lee on C. Hello, Rory.
Hello, Nick.
Rory.
It's my birthday and I want a piece of your mind.
Your birthday?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a story about Boris being seen in Uxbridge when I was at uni there at Brunel. I know you're a graduate of Brunel as well.
Yeah.
We were putting on a concert at the Harrison Hall Cafe opposite the station. And 5 minutes before I turned up, he walked out of the station along the little, sheltered parade and scurried along, and while the students saw him and all ran out shouting obscenities at him. And it was 5 minutes before I turned up.
So this was before or after he was PM?
Oh, this was before. He was Mayor of London at the time.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Probably.
So he has been seen in Uxbridge, but
once.
He doesn't... I don't think he I get the feeling he doesn't do many surgeries or...
I can't imagine he's ever done one. I mean, has anybody ever been to a Boris Johnson surgery in Uxbridge? I would imagine he wouldn't be able to find it if he had a sat-nav on him.
No. He's a bit of a misnomer there, and yet he's supposed to represent the people. I spoke to a lot of people at uni, tried to get them to, re-register to vote there, and naturally they would probably vote Labour, and, another, 4,000 students voting Labour would easily get him out.
Well, they might vote Labour, they might vote Greenie. A very, very few number of them would probably vote Tory. But it would be good for the benefit of the nation if they actually did vote. Kids, you must vote. You just must. I know it's boring, and I know they're all the same, and I know nothing ever changes, and all those things that kids say. But the reason that nothing ever changes for you personally, kids, is because you don't vote. The reason that they fall over themselves, politicians, to ingratiate themselves with the OAPs is because they will vote no matter what the weather is like, or what's on television, or how hungover they are, or how unbothered they are about the selection available to them. They will always, always, always vote. And that's why the older generation are enjoying a lifestyle the likes of which you, kids, will never have. You will never have it. Because, primarily, you don't vote, you idiots. Just do it, crying out loud. And do it today. Register today so that you don't have to think, the day before the next election, you don't think, should have registered. Too late now. Oh, well, never mind. I'll just sit in and smoke a cheroot.
Want to score some pot?
Just register and then vote. Appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Cheers, Rory. 0345 6060 973. This says, my name is Alfonso and I'm writing from Valencia. Oh, Valencia's a very good place. I enjoyed Valencia a lot. It's got that Calatrava, what would you call it? I think it's called the Park of Sciences or something like that. All these amazing buildings. They just look like they're dropped in from space. You will recognise them because they've been used in so many adverts because they really are incredible. Calatrava is the architect's name. There's nothing in those. What's weird is these buildings, they must have cost billions of euros. I mean, you've never seen anything like it in your life, and there's nothing in them. I mean, they're completely empty, unless you know otherwise. When I went there was nothing in them. Amazing to walk around, and it's at the end of this long since dry riverbed that is now a park, and it sort of wends its way through Valencia. It's just a great place. Anyway, there's more. My name is Alfonso, and I'm writing from Valencia, he says. Spanish news outlets are giving shocking information about what is going on in the UK at the moment. It's a bit like Game of Thrones, but for real. I'm now tuning into your radio show, which I find both funny and edifying. Get me a dictionary, I'm going to look up edifying. I'm thinking of being offended. He says, I'm now tuning... No. Your mockery on Jacob Rees-Mogg's accent has me in stitches. Good to know... Is this all just been being nice to me? Good Good to know that not everyone or no one speaks like that in the UK. No one speaks like this.
I don't know anything.
Nobody speaks like this apart from this bloke.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, him and Smug. Those are the only people that speak like that. Anyway, he's being nice. Thanks a lot, Alfonso. Hadley, Rob.
Oh, I'm on.
Yes, Rob.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
I was hearing a little bit earlier. I recommend fishy fish.
What's that mean?
Jellies.
Fishy fish jellies?
Yeah, the sweets. They're pucker.
Fishy fish? There's a sweet called fishy fish.
Yeah. Can I say the name?
We just did.
No, can I say the make?
Isn't that the make?
No, the make is the obviously the company. Can I say the company?
It's a sweet called fishy fish.
Fizzy fish, yeah, fizzy fish.
Why would anybody eat a sweet called fish? Does anybody want a sweet that tastes like fish? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't taste like fish.
Oh, right.
It's called fizzy fish.
Well, why does it have fish in the title if it doesn't taste like fish? I mean, imagine if you wanted a sweet that tasted like fish and you went to the shop and you bought fizzy fish thinking this is a sweet that is both fizzy and tastes of fish, and you got neither of the two things.
You have. Oh, dear. I've just fallen off the wagon, by the way.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've had about 3 months I had a drink, and I'm smoking and drinking. But I'm all right.
He fell off the wagon.
Booze.
It's probably because of all that drinking. All right, thanks a lot, Rob.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
What's he got to be depressed about?
Oh, Struth, where do I even begin? Doreen says, what the latest shenanigans have demonstrated is that going to Oxbridge or Eton is no guarantee that you will possess any common sense or have the ability to run a bath, never mind a country. Correct amundo, Doreen. Completely correct in every respect. Going to Oxbridge or Eton is no guarantee you'll possess any common sense. In fact, it seems to be inimical to it. Is that the right word? I don't know whether it is or not, but it doesn't prevent it from being correct. I'm just adjusting my seat. Caterham. No, I've done you. Have I done... Oh, no, I haven't done you. Stan.
Hey, Nick.
Stan.
Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, Stan.
Hey. Yeah, look, I just wanted to throw just an idea. I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about what's happening, and people are understandably angry and upset. And I was born and raised in a post-Soviet country, which is right now ruled by a dictator. And I've been living here for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And I think Britain is like the pinnacle of democracy. Your prime minister comes up with this economic plan. You guys didn't like it. You kicked her off after, less than a month. I mean, that's basically how democracy should run. You fail at a job, you're out.
No.
This is great.
No. You're totally and 100% wrong about that. We had no say in the matter.
Of course you did. They're afraid of you. When they did Brexit and the political class, they didn't want to do it. No. They were afraid of the people.
It's a stupid idea. What are you doing, Stan?
I'm telling you that people should be proud.
What is that noise?
Yeah. Oh, that's my fireplace. Do you mind?
It's your fireplace. Really?
I'm saving on my heating bills with a fireplace.
Huh.
Yeah, listen, I think that there's not enough appreciation for the system you've built. And I've been, when we go and protest, we get shot. Look at what's happening in Iran. We can't get rid of Putin for the last 20 years.
Stan, if you're comparing us to places where if you go on protest you get shot, then that's a pretty low bar that we have to leap over. This is a pretty poor democracy. We have the third unelected prime minister in a row who answers to an unelected upper house, who answers to an unelected head of state. What about that? Sounds like democracy to you.
You guys voted for Tories. quite recently with an overwhelming majority, and that was a Democratic vote.
No,
right?
it wasn't. It was not an overwhelming majority. That's completely the opposite of the truth. It was an underwhelming majority. They got 46% of the people that could actually be bothered to vote, which was 30-some% of the electorate. And again and again and again, we get a Tory government in this country that was voted for by less than half of the people that voted. That's a pretty poor state of affairs. They get 100% of the power with 46% of the votes. What sounds democratic about that?
I look, democracy is not always, the rule of the majority necessarily. What I'm pointing out is that this country has kept the power of who runs the country within the people, and that really it's something you should be proud of, and not complain about the system. You should complain about politicians if they're crooked and if they're dumb, if they don't do their job well. But the system is working really well, and
it's working really badly, Stan. And I'll say it again: if you're comparing us to people who are suffering under a dictatorship, and we look positive compared to them, well, why wouldn't we? But compare us to a better-run country, a country that is perhaps run by a rainbow coalition of interested parties acting for the benefit of the majority of the people, then that would be a better place for you to posit your approval. But anyway, thanks a lot, Stan, and I hope you enjoy your fire. 0345 6060 973. That, by the way, is not saving the planet, if you don't mind me saying so, but does probably look great. That's the thing about radiators. Not that much to look at. Fires, yes. This says, I've been searching for the clip you play that sounds like Betty Davis saying "some nobody" for months. Please tell me what film it's from and who it is, says Kerry. Well, I think it is Betty Davis, isn't it? Where is it? Hang on a minute.
Some nobody.
Yeah, isn't that Betty Davis? But as to what film it's from, no idea. Sid Cup. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, hi. Good morning.
Hello, Sean.
Yeah, yes. What I'd like to say is, does it matter who is elected as the next Prime Minister? The reason I say that is because it doesn't matter. They could elect Boris Johnson, Vicky Rishi, Mother Teresa, Princess Diana, Pol Pot. They will be annihilated at the next election. Why do I say that? Oh, because
you keep asking yourself questions.
Sorry.
Let me ask. So why do you say that, Sean?
Because when it comes to the next election, whether it's next week, next month, next year, 10 years' time, people will remember, oh, yeah, okay, look, Boris, he got Brexit delivered. Okay, right, who talks about Brexit nowadays? Anyway, he got the COVID vaccine. Yes, I will give him credit for that.
Why?
That's the only credit I will give him for.
Why give him credit for that? Big deal. He had precious little to do with it.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, he wasn't beavering behind his desk at number 10 when he's, not having his parties or whatever. Yes, but the fact is that we were the first country in the world.
Oh, please.
Okay, I won't talk about COVID. Okay, I won't. Why he won't, the Tories won't be elected? Because I think, well...
Because you think the tide has changed and people will forget everything that he did. Well, you know what? They probably will forget everything that he did. And my money is on the Conservative Party winning the next election, because the Labour Party will do their usual trick of fighting amongst themselves. I know that's what the Tory Party are doing at the moment. They've caught Labour's disease. But they will, when it's necessary, get their act together and all line up straight behind whichever leader it is at the time that they've got. And the Labour Party, meanwhile, will wrestle itself to the ground, and the Tories will just step nimbly over them again. Plus, it's the old that vote, and the old vote Tory.
I agree 100% with you there, 110%. Yes, and as you said, the young people don't come out and vote because they're watching Love Island or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and you said, people will come out and vote because... Anyway, what's on television?
They'll forget all of that. They'll forget the lying and the money that the billions and billions of pounds that just seems to have disappeared, and the more billions of pounds that has gone into the pockets of friends and donors, very curiously into the pockets of their friends and their donors, and they'll forget the mountain of dead people and the vast amount of red tape and the slow puncture that is the economy of this country post-Brexit. They'll forget all of that and look at Boris Johnson and think, he's doing his best, assuming that it is him who is leading them. And like I said, the Labour Party will fight each other because Keir Starmer isn't socialist enough, or he's too centrist, or they don't like his hair, or they don't know who he is, or there will be some blooming excuse that they will find to sit on their hands and stay at home and not vote, because that's what the left do. If you're not absolutely perfect in their eyes, then they will complain until they're blue in their face and pass out. And the Tory party, who are very, very good at getting their act together just in time, they will sail through to run us for another blooming 5 years or whatever it is, or another 10 or 20 or for the rest of our lives. Anybody want to put any money on that? Because people are writing them off way too soon. You wait. When it comes down to it, they will get their act in order. Whereas the Labour Party will split into factions, and the tofu eaters will punch each other out. Thanks a lot, Sean.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Some whack job can say this stuff and get away with it?
0345 6060 973. This one says, it surprises me that Trump has not offered to throw his hat into the ring. The whole thing is a circus, so we might as well have the ringmaster too, says Mike. I think he's calling you a clown, Donny.
Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Ever talk to the president that way. Gaz says, I'm telling you now, this is not a joke. I want medical evidence that any sitting prime minister is not taking illicit, illegal drugs, and legislation in law that is implemented and made public, says Gaz. Very, very angry, Gaz. With justification. Let's have New Malden. Hello, Julian.
Hello, Nick. Haven't spoken to you for a while, and I haven't actually listened to all of your show tonight, unfortunately. I only tuned in a little while ago because I was busy watching Ben Elton Friday Night Live, which was absolutely hilarious, by the way. Right. Really, really good. So if you
Friday Night Live, what is that?
Friday Night. It was just a one-off. You don't remember Friday Night Live from years ago? Ben Elton doing his thing? You don't?
Nope.
Oh, well, watch this. It's just a one-off comeback that he's done. Him and Harry Enfield all live on stage, and some other brilliant new comedians.
Well, I like Harry Enfield.
Hilarious. Oh, well, he did loads of money, and he did Stavros live with Ben Elton. Oh, it was fantastic, mate.
Well,
really,
hang on a
good.
minute. Loads of money at Stavros. That's about how old is that? It's about 40 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, but it was just a one-off show for some reason,
right.
And really good. Anyway,
just a walk down memory lane.
Exactly. Yeah. But Harry Enfield updated the whole loads of money thing with what's going on today.
Right. Well, don't tell us. I'll look it up on the World Wide Web.
No, well, I wouldn't want to spoil it by trying to tell you and messing it all up.
Yeah.
No, watch it. But yeah, no, I was just going to say that what you were saying to a caller a couple of calls ago, 2 or 3 calls ago, I totally agree with all what you were saying about the terrible state of democracy in this country. But the thing is, I just wanted to say that the parliamentary democratic system, it does work if everybody went out and voted. Basically, that's all that needs to happen, isn't it?
Right.
The young people need to get up and make it work.
You know, if they can do it in Australia, and there's a million miles between one hut and the next one in Australia, if they can insist in Australia that everybody goes out and votes under threat of being fined, then we can do it here.
That would work, but of course it's not in their interest, is it? The people who are in power at the moment, that's the last thing they want to do.
Correct.
You know, they just when an election comes around, they just go, "Oh, thank you very much to the usual suspects. You've done it again. Got us into. Thank you very much. Good night." And here we are again for another 4 years.
Then they can ignore us for another 5 years.
Exactly. Yeah, it's sort of as simple as that, really. And what sort of gets to me as well is that a lot of I think that. I try to explain to some people that vote for these people, like my dear mother being one of them, that these people that she's voting for, they wouldn't give them the time of day. People like Boris Johnson think that these people are plebs. They'd be like, "Oh, thank you very much for your vote. Now, go away, you plebiscite. Thank you."
All of that thing that makes people go, "Oh, he's doing his best." That's just an act. That's not who he is.
Of course, absolutely. This is it. And another thing that just made me angry is this book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. The book that James O'Brien goes on about, that Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak wrote about the laziness of British workers and how we need to have a Singapore style where what they want to do is strip away even more rights.
Make
they think
Britain
British
great again.
Are lazy, so we take away all their rights, so they have to beg for their job. And that's it in a nutshell. That's what they want to do, and yet this woman has come along and done a rubbish job for like 6 weeks, and now us, the taxpayer, have got to pay her flipping salary for the rest of her life, and pay for her security for the rest of her life.
Calm down, Julian. You're going to blow a blood vessel. Thanks a lot, mate. It's getting louder and louder and angrier, and it was going to end in... Yeah, you're going to pass out. You keep going on like that, Julian. Relax. Take a seat. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, it is painful. It really is. It's excruciating. This Mary in Derby says, my free Spotify trial lasted longer than Liz. And E-Boy says, can't good old King Chuck dissolve the government and start anew? God, that's a good idea, isn't it? Could dissolve the government like sugar in tea. Chuck it out and start again. Make a new pot. This says, Truss will get £115,000 for every year for the rest of her life for doing 6 weeks in number 10. Will the blob get double that if he manages to get... if he manages to get through that door again? Says Hannah. Well, that's just rude, Hannah. Yeah, I mean, that libertarian ideal, that Britannia Unchained, these cranks, these sort of economic far-right nuts have been dreaming about this moment for decades. All of those lobby groups, all of those think tanks that suspiciously all occupy the same address in SW1, all of those people have been dreaming about this moment for decades. Have been pouring millions and millions of pounds. Billionaires have been pouring millions of pounds into these lobby groups and these think tanks to try to enact this policy, this dream of theirs that is essentially let the rich keep all of the money and then society will improve for the rich and to hell with everybody else. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. They don't care about you. You are an impediment to them enjoying themselves to the fullest. If we could just get all of the poor people, those struggling to get by, to pay all the tax, then millionaires and billionaires wouldn't have to. That's the idea. Then they could keep all of their money and do what they want with it. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. That's the libertarian ideal. You don't have to read Britannia Unchained because that's it. Why should billionaires pay for knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing morons to procreate is essentially it. I mean, they'll dress it up in 300 words, in 300 pages of, multi-syllable words, but essentially it's, why should I pay for these people who've chosen to be poor? That's it. And so they've been dreaming about this for such a long time. They've convinced themselves that this is absolutely the way to go. If only somebody would be smart enough to give them a country to play with, and they could enact it. And it's the same with the free ports and all of this stuff that she wanted to bring in. Tax cuts for the mega rich, relieve the bankers of having to slave under the onerous conditions that they can only double their wages with their bonus. Just let the rich go free, fly free, and then the world will be a better place for the rich. Everybody else is screwed. We're all just serfs, essentially. Like robots we'll be. And having dreamt about it for decades and written books and produced theories and theses and, funded think tanks and lobbyists and so on and so forth, and dabbling with the odd third world country every now and again to, open these free ports and so on, and being kicked back, they couldn't believe their luck when they were actually given an entire first world country to play with. How marvellous. And so finally, having dreamt about it for decades, they could actually put all of those theories into practice. And Lizzo did it in one fell swoop. She was very clear about that.
I'm genuinely unclear.
She was very clear about that. She made a decisive move. And it fell apart in about 10 seconds. Their theory was that the markets would be unchained, to use their word, and that riches would pile on riches, and the mega rich would never have had it so good.
We have never had it so good.
And they forgot, perhaps, that the markets aren't this sort of wise, all-seeing eye. The markets are just trading floors full of kids high on cocaine, desperate to do anything to meet their bonus requirements. That's what the markets are. And the markets freaked out because all of their bets, all of these wild bets on these financial products that they probably didn't even understand and would twist your brain into, oh God, all my screens have just gone out. Wow, that's spooky. Maybe someone's listening to this.
Oh, no.
I'm being listened to. Oh, here they come back again. Bionic Studio has encountered an unhandled error and needs to close. Please refer to the log folders for further information. Wow. Well, I've never seen that before. Now, isn't that weird? At the very moment that I was uncovering the subterfuge that has gone on under our very noses, suddenly all my screens go blank. Spooky. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Never seen it.
Never seen anything like it in his life. I don't even know what that means. Bionics Studio has encountered an unhandled error and needs to close. Well, I know how it feels. I'm thinking of closing down myself. I don't know if there's any point in giving out the number anymore because all of the people have just disappeared. They were all there a moment ago and now they've gone. Never mind, eh? It's just life. I'll give it out anyway, on the assumption that things will burst back into life again.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Come on, we're running late.
Well, it appears as though things have improved greatly. I have now got phones and texts back in place. I suspect it's Russian interference. Vladimir Putin is trying to take down this show. Thanks a lot, Vlad. You didn't succeed in your wicked scheme. 0345 6060 973. Bionics Studio. What on earth is that when it's at home? It sounds like we've been selected for termination.
Affirmative.
0345 6060 973. Colnbrook. Hello, Nick.
Hello, mate. How are we doing?
Good, thanks.
I thought you were not going to get me on after all that.
Hey, Nick. Nick.
Yeah.
Are we on speakerphone?
No, we're on our headphones. I can change it for you if it's absolutely desperate. I was actually blowing your kettle because I didn't think you were going to get me on.
You're boiling a kettle? Are you insane? The amount of energy that goes into that. Can't you just do without?
Well, it was the disappointment of thinking that I wasn't going to talk to you.
Oh.
What I wanted to point out was the average age of a woman now is 80. The money that she's about to be given by us mugs is going to work out at £3 million by the time she dies.
Wow.
That's if she makes it 81. That's $3 million just given. My nephew is paying for his house. It's going to take him 25 years. She could have paid for it out of the money we're going to give her for doing nothing in 3 years. There's just the sort of stupidity of the amount of money these people... I just think every one of these prime ministers that we complain about, each of them get this money. Remember Teddy? Older laughing?
Yeah.
No wonder they laugh when they walk out at number 10 when it's time to go.
I know.
Here's 115,000...
Yeah, it's worse than that. Your phone keeps cutting out, Nick. It's worse than that. It's not the £115,000. It's the free car and the free security, and I think they get £500,000 for just for excellence in being themselves. Or was that cancelled? Maybe Tony Blair was the last, but you remember Tony Blair, don't you? Yeah, that's him. I think they used to get £500,000, didn't they? Just for being them. I may have that wrong. Even if it's wrong, it doesn't prevent it from being a fact. Thanks a lot, Nick. Get a new phone. 0345 6060 973. £3 million. That is awful.
That is a disgrace.
And that is if she lives to the average age of a woman in this country. Of course, if she lives to the average age of a Dalek...
That is a disgrace.
This says, hi, Nick, the featured item on the Tory website shop is a Churchill stainless steel drink bottle that says never, never, never. If they added Boris, I'd buy a dozen. God, they are obsessed with Churchill. I bet Churchill would sack every single one of them. They may love him. I bet he wouldn't love them. Let's have Leicester. Hello, David.
Well, I was going to say we should start a parliamentary petition from getting this lifetime stipend.
Now, maybe it's not the phone. Maybe it's the system we have here, because you had the same problem as that last bloke. I heard the first part of the sentence and the last part, but not the middle bit. Try again.
It's time to start a petition. Those who don't
see again. Oh my God! There's something wrong with our. See, Vladimir Putin is winning this battle.
Oh
no! He is interfering with this show. Try it again.
Third time lucky.
Go on, then.
Just wrecking your show because I'm going to suggest that we have a petition that.
No, we're not getting it, David. It's like that guy whose act was. He would. I can't remember what his name is now, and I can't do what he used to do. But it was like he was testing a microphone, and then he would every now and again the microphone, and like kind of like that. He was much better at it than me, but then I haven't had the practice. It's a little bit like that, David. It's excruciating. I can hear the first bit of what you're saying and the last bit, but not the middle bit. Not the important bit. The bit in the middle. But good effort. Better luck next time. This says, this from a person that describes themselves as a lefty Ramona. The country is in turmoil. Maybe he or she isn't describing themselves as a lefty, Ramona. Maybe they think maybe I am. Well, let's read on and find out. The country is in turmoil, costs are soaring, inflation is through the roof, and the walking scandal that is Boris Johnson will be back in number 10, where the stopwatch will start again until the next fiasco unravels around him. So definitely calling themselves a lefty, Ramona. Probably a Guardian reading tofu, Ramona. No! Suella Braverman is gone. Isn't that upsetting?
No.
Good grief. I can't imagine how they're going to find a way to make it even worse. Because when Priti Patel was the Home Secretary, you thought, well, it couldn't possibly be worse than that. I mean, when she exits stage left, they can't possibly find anyone worse than that. And they did. I don't even know who the Home Secretary is at the moment. Who's the Home Secretary?
Who's the
Home Secretary? Do we even know anymore? I mean, it's too hard to keep up. What's the point in even learning their names? They're not going to be doing that job for very long. None of them are. I mean, I went to the trouble of learning this bloke's name.
So obviously,
what a waste of time that was.
But I know certainly, but you know, but obviously,
yeah, the cabinet of all the talents. What an absolute shower. I mean, really, have you ever seen anything like it in your life?
No.
This says, on the day that Suella resigned, I sent this text to Ian Payne. Hi, Ian Payne. I suspect that Suella is positioning herself for the imminent, inevitable tussle for the leadership PM position. I do not believe her that the reason for her resignation is as stated in the first paragraph of her resignation letter. Her criticism of the government in the latter part of the letter tells of her true agenda, says Abby in Surrey. The latter part of the letter, the party of the first part, get Groucho Marx on the phone and he'll explain it to us. What are you left with? I got about 3 feet. Right. Budapest. Hello, Mark.
Hi there. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
I mean, I left the UK 30 years ago, and I'm bloody happy I did, because I'm glad I don't have to sit through this every day.
Yeah.
But everything you're saying is absolutely right. But the difference is here, everyone's scared in England. In Europe, people are not scared every day. We're not terrified of the next danger coming up, if that makes sense.
But also, your life is less interesting. I mean, your leaders don't change with the direction of the wind. You don't get up in the morning and wonder who's running the country now.
No, you don't. But equally, if I can just add one little thing, we've still got the same price of fuel as we had a year ago.
What?
We still don't pay. Yeah, we didn't increase the fuel price. He made sure the fuel companies accepted all the difference. And he also made sure that the gas price didn't decrease. We're paying about 1/5 of the gas price that you are. But he's supposed to be right-wing, but he's got socialist measures because we have price controls. But nobody ever investigates it, what the rest of Europe's doing to find out how to solve these problems.
What's that noise, Mark?
I don't know. I'm in a hotel room.
Well, you haven't got a fire going in your hotel room, do you?
I hope not. No, that was a fire drill about a few weeks ago when I was in another hotel. Please don't remind me of that one.
Oh, okay.
That one. Well, basically, I just see that people are scared here. People are terrified all the time.
Well, I don't know about terrified. I think we're bemused, a little bit alarmed and concerned, but I don't think we're screaming just yet. I don't think that's really, it's not really the British way. I mean, even if our feet were on fire, we'd be shrugging our shoulders going, wow, mustn't grumble. Don't worry about it, Mark, we'll be okay. He said, lacking conviction. 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 King conviction. King